This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, plus Alex and Nate with Sam.
What up? Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello, party people, including Nate, who never really gives himself any type of introduction.
None needed.
I knew that was coming. Like, I could have laid money that was coming.
Today is Monday, November 21st, and college football is all the rage right now. Lots to chat about in regard to a week in the college football world that brought doubts about most of the top teams.
Yeah. Everybody
In the club getting tipsy.
Not in a fun way.
Show.
The World Cup starts this week.
It already started.
Actually, it's already started. Qatar
Yes.
has already played their opening match to a draw with whoever they played.
No, they lost to Ecuador.
Did they lose?
Ecuador beats Qatar 2-0, sir.
They beat Qatar, huh?
Yep.
2-0, Jim.
Sorry, my fault.
You don't want to piss off any footy fans.
No
Footy,
footy
the
fans.
footy. I do want to say about soccer that we, the United States, has named our captain. We haven't had a captain in 4.5 years. And our captain, Tyler Adams, will be the youngest captain at the World Cup and America's first black captain to field a team in the World Cup. It's a little bit of news about the World Cup from America.
Interesting.
I know.
United States plays Wales today at 2 p.m. on Fox, if anybody's really
If
looking
you're
to look.
listening. If you're listening today, not when we're recording, right?
Yes. Correct.
Today, as in Monday.
I mean, this whole time thing with where they're playing and like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we're doing a show. You're gonna get me all confused.
Doesn't take much.
All right, Alex, it's gonna be that kind of night.
I think
All
you've
right.
already
It's
set the
that kinda
tone for
weekend,
this, Jim.
Let's get started.
I
I'm
think you've
pumped
set
now.
the tone.
All
College
right, so
basketball is in full swing.
The
Have
what?
we watched any games of college basketball?
Hell no.
I mean,
I've watched like
Yeah.
2 minutes of that game on the ship.
Ooh. Was it a
Well,
rocky
Was-
boat?
It was like Michigan State and was it Kentucky?
Oh, the classic that they do.
Yeah, the one that was in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've watched a little bit of that, and then I tried to watch some of the Mountaineer game the other night, but man, did that put me to sleep.
Like most
Yeah.
West Virginia things do.
No, it was because they were playing Penn.
yeah.
And fun fact, I didn't know this until they were talking about in the broadcast. For whatever reason, grad students cannot play basketball in the Ivy League.
Huh.
Probably because they think that their programs are like so rigorous.
Ooh.
Like you can't play sports and go to PA school here. You're not allowed.
There's the answer.
All right.
They're too busy, coming up with the next huge invention or cure
They
or
basically just want to own you.
success. Alex, give us an update on the Pittsburgh Penguins, please.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are now 8-7-3, currently winning. Well, they were winning 1-0 against the Chicago Blackhawks as we record this. It's the end of the first period. This weekend they beat the Winnipeg Jets 3-0, and that made them 5th in the Eastern Metropolitan Division, which is currently being led by the New Jersey Devils.
Jim, do you have any updates on any of your favorite teams? Any 5 of them?
There's 3, and they're still standing about where they are. Vegas still on top. Seattle's 3rd in the Pacific, and the Blue Jackets are at the bottom.
Now, Alex, you missed one of the most important things about this game against Chicago.
Yeah. That
Did
was
you not
delayed.
see?
I saw
Yeah,
it.
it was delayed. However, it's Evgeny Malkin's 1,000th NHL game.
Oh, okay. No, I did not pay attention to that. Evgeny Malkin's kind of pissed me off for the last few years. A little bit of a turnover machine.
There we go. Be sure to follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter. Sports Stuff W/Jim _ Muff on Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, like, tickle, retweet,
Poke.
share,
All of the things.
double tap the things. Get us on the YouTube. Get us to the followers, because once we get to 100 subscribers, we will be giving away some prizes. And before we get into this week's show, Jim, a little T's and P's, a little situational awareness about some things that were going on within the world and the college football world this week.
Yeah, so the University of Virginia, dealing with some tragedy. They lost 3 football players due to a shooting. Former player, um, basically shot up the charter bus as they were coming back from a school trip. Running back Mike Hollins is still in the hospital and recovering. Marley Morgan is at home recovering with family. But what a tragic thing to happen. Senseless act of violence. Did you guys see what the running back did?
I did not.
I know he was being touted as a hero in the situation.
So the shooting started. He ran off the bus, told the other people to run, went back to go get more people off the bus. And as he was going on the bus to like snag more people, the gunman met him at the stairs. And so he ran and he got shot in the back. So he was trying to go help more people, or he would have been fine. So big props to Mike Collins. T's and P's to the University of Virginia, to the families of those family friends of those who've lost people. Senseless violence.
Yeah.
So lots of gestures throughout college football with the state of Virginia and the heart in the middle. That was cool. All the teams that did that, but crazy world we're living in, guys.
Decent out there.
Also, thoughts to those in Colorado Springs talking about senseless acts of violence.
Yes. There's another one. There was another. I guess there's a shooting in New Mexico. I just read it. Just popped up. I'm still trying to get the details, but another football player shot. Shootings, mass shootings. This is crazy. We need to start loving each other more in the time of holidays.
Exactly. And
All right.
Winter holidays.
So, with that being said, let's get into the show.
Our opinions aren't too tough, rough, or gruff. We are proof that you don't have to be an expert to have an opinion. So just
shut up and sit down.
This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff.
And the show this week starts with the NFL Week 11 breakdown.
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 Starting with Thursday Night Football, Titans taking on the Packers. Brings out something new from Derrick Henry as he tosses a touchdown to go along with a rushing touchdown, and the Titans top the Packers 27-17. Austin Hooper grabs 2 touchdowns from Ryan Tannehill, and the Titans improve to 7-3, while the Packers are now at 4-7.
Ooh, is it panic time for the Packers? Has it been panic time for the Packers?
Well, Pat,
It's already been there.
Yeah, I agree.
We have already reached that time for the Packers. They've been more competitive over the past few weeks. I think they're actually finding a little bit of offensive awareness about how they can move the ball down the field, but is what it is. I think it's too far gone. Next, getting into Sunday football, we have the Bears taking on the Falcons. Justin Fields leads the Bears in passing and rushing. Yet another game, tossing 1 touchdown and rushing for another, but the Falcons use a Cordell Patterson kickoff touchdown as the difference in this one, winning 27-14.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I had him on my fantasy team, and it was a good day.
Yeah, he had a great day.
Good day. Whew, thank goodness.
Any additional note on Justin Fields?
What was that?
Any additional note on Justin Fields?
Justin Fields, he rushed for 85 yards today, but of note, he did suffer a left shoulder injury during the Bears' final drive and is undergoing x-rays. He just said, yeah, it hurts.
Did they cart him off, or am I reading the wrong one?
I don't think they carted him off. He said it kind of happened like the first play of that final drive. But he said he's just really, really sore from whatever it is, but there's really no definitives. But something to keep an eye on going forth.
Nate, what was the note on that?
For Patterson, that was his NFL record 9th kickoff return for a touchdown.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did see that.
Look at him go. Next, we have the Colts taking on the Eagles. Despite having a leader of men, the Colts can't put away the Eagles, losing after a late touchdown rush from Jalen Hurts seals the deal, with the Eagles winning 17-16.
But there was a lot of thought there that the Colts had them. Like,
Oh, it looked like it.
the leader of men should not be a blemish on his record here.
No, I mean when you're playing a 8-1 team going into today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Saturday's got those boys going in the right direction.
I agree.
If anything, he's just running the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
With one of the best running backs in the league that
Yeah.
wasn't running the ball for most of the season.
Now, I heard him talking on pregame, I can't remember if it was ESPN or Fox, and they said he actually sent them outside to practice this week. And they go, why in the hell are you sending these guys outside? They play in a dome. He goes, oh, well, we got to toughen them up and got to do more one-on-ones versus like first team versus second team.
All right.
So an NFL lineman would do when it starts to get colder. Next, we have
Sense
the
to me.
Jets taking on the Patriots in a snoozer of a game. The first punt return for a touchdown in the NFL this season sneaks up in this one for the Patriots to win 10-3.
So
I'll take it.
I was looking at the stat line on this game, and I was trying to just see who scored for him, and it's funny because the guy's name's Marcus Jones, so it was like M. Jones returns a punt for touchdown. I'm like, Mac Jones. I'm like, what the? And I had to click it. I was like, okay, good, different people. But I was very confused for a minute.
More confusing Zach Wilson playing quarterback?
No, not that bad.
I don't know. Jets on a little bit of a slide now, right? They're not.
They're jetsing.
Yeah, but you knew they were gonna. At least I did. That's why I bet them. I knew this was gonna happen.
You bet against them.
Yeah, I bet that they would lose this game. This was a no-brainer for me. Everything else I botched in the betting week, but this one felt good about.
This was it. All right. Next, the Texans taking on the Commanders. The Commanders take advantage of Davis Mills, picking him off twice and limiting him to less than 200 yards passing, and come away with a 23-20 win over the Texans.
Yeah.
The Texans were Texans, and the Commanders showed up. I think the fact that Chase Young didn't come out off the IR for this game is probably the bigger news of this.
Of course it is.
I'm not even doing the Ohio State thing. I'm saying, what's wrong with him?
They didn't need him.
He's going to come next week. He was questionable to come off this week. They were anticipating he was, but he didn't.
I mean,
it would have been a nice tune-up game to get him some reps in, but definitely didn't need him.
I contend that Chase Young will not return to full Chase Young ever again.
What was full Chase Young? He was never really around long enough, was he?
I'm talking about the Chase Young of Ohio State grandeur that they drafted. That.
So
I think
you did
bust.
make this about Ohio State. Got it.
Yeah,
all right. So
he's just never going to live up to the hype of when he was drafted.
Right, he will not.
Well, and I think theoretically, if you think about it, I mean, I don't know that I'd say he was not ever going to come off IR because they're 6-5, so they're contending. And this week they were playing the Texans. If I have to pick a time to bring someone off the IR, if it's risking it, I'm not going to do it for the Texans.
I see your point. My point is when he finally does, it's not going to. I don't see him staying healthy very long.
Yeah, he's just
so if he's on the fringe, looking ahead, they play at home next week against Atlanta, and then they're at the Giants.
I see him coming back for the Giants.
I think he comes back next week.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, you started this by saying you didn't think he was going to play the whole season, I thought.
He hasn't played the whole season.
No,
I said I don't think he'll stay healthy.
Listen, I was there when he tore his ACL, damn it.
Why didn't you stop it?
I don't, because I was on the way back from the sweet level to the 100 level.
Gotcha.
Too busy dodging shit water.
Food water.
Yeah.
Next, Rams taking on the Saints. The Rams can't keep the offensive effort going into the second half, and the Saints tack on 17 in the second half on their way to a 27-20 win. The Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, throws for 3 touchdowns in the win.
What will Andy Dalton's legacy be?
Nothing.
I think kind of like Ryan Fitzpatrick at this point. He's like a journeyman.
Yeah, but he's not as cool as Fitz.
No, not even close.
So like, what will people say about the Red Rocket? And like,
He was serviceable in times of need for teams.
he was a good hand.
Yeah.
He was the consummate pro.
There we go.
He was a nice guy. He was funny.
I don't know if we
Yeah,
know
but that's
any
like
of that.
Fitz. Like, we don't know any of that. That's what I mean. He's just. I know that he was temperamental in some places. That was the take on him
Talking
at
about
Cincinnati.
in Cincinnati.
Yeah, but like, he's a redhead. Like, I just think that's like he does real well sometimes, and people are like, oh, Red Rocket, and then like, up, he's
I think
gone.
they don't expect it to be consistent. I think they're just like, yeah, look, Andy Dalton had a good game, and you just move on. Like,
Fair enough.
it's like, oh, he's coming out of the wood. He's coming out, and he's gonna have this great. I think they're just like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
At least he had a couple good games.
Ram
Well,
suck.
Happy. Jameis, I saw he had an interview this week and was saying, "Oh well, I only lost my job because I got hurt, and it's not supposed to be like that."
Are they gonna start feuding?
Well, I think Jameis is just being a sore loser because Andy Dalton's out playing him.
Well,
they
this
are
is crazy.
That they may have some bigger chunk plays with Jameis in there, but
Andy
Andy
Dalton-
doesn't have those bonehead plays that Jameis does.
Yes, he's safer.
I wouldn't have Jameis on my team anyway. He's batshit crazy.
Still your crab leg.
That's it. The crab leg thing. I'm never gonna get over that.
That's one of the things we'll never get over with Jameis.
Yeah.
Or eating a W.
What was
Browns
it?
taking on the Bills in another game. The game that was moved to Ford Field thanks to record snowfall in Buffalo. I think they said it was the highest.
Yeah, they said like
4-hour total.
77 inches.
Yeah.
Nuts.
It 6 feet 5 inches, whatever you converted to feet and inches. 6'5".
Crazy.
Over what was it? 2 days?
Yeah. I don't understand why wouldn't you want to play football on that? Well, that's what they were like. They're like, it's not even that we couldn't have played football, but it's impossible. They're like, we're not going to let fans be out driving around in this, like trying to get to the game. I don't believe
But
that.
meanwhile, all those fans went out and made sure those players got to the airport.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, what had happened was that on Thursday, when they called this, the players did not know till Thursday after practice. And then all the snow came, so they didn't get a chance to get ahead of the snow to get to Detroit.
Oh, so they were.
So that's why they had to be like plowed out and everything to get to Detroit, because there wasn't enough time for Buffalo, like the organization, to get things going, to get a plane ready right away. So
Well, they had-
everything was.
I still think it was pretty crazy that they were able to plow all that snow off the airport and make sure they got out of town in time for this game.
I saw a thing that said that they still could have played in Bills Stadium. It's not the stadium that's the issue. It's that the town of, or the city of Buffalo, needs a place to put snow to be a functioning town, and they're putting it in the stadium.
There's the answer.
That's interesting.
Well, here's
Anyway.
two things actually. One, they said they released like 50-some thousand tickets to Buffalo fans for the Detroit location, and they sold out in 3 hours.
Buffalo fans, man. There's not a more loyal fan base.
And then, why isn't Buffalo just staying in Detroit this week? They play again Thursday in Detroit.
Yeah, they said they wanted to go back. I don't know. I kind of thought that that's what they would do, and I was like, maybe that had played into picking the location.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Did
I
you-
just assumed, oh, they're playing there because they're playing there Thursday. They'll stay there for a week.
Yeah. No. Did you see?
Because I
them-
mean, you've heard teams do that before. Like a West Coast team goes to an East
Yeah.
Coast team, then they play another East Coast team. They just stay for the week.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you see them trolling the Lions on Twitter? They did Photoshop and made it look like they changed the end zones and stuff for the Bills. And they
Mhm.
said you do whatever you want as long as it's back to normal, like by Thursday.
Yeah, the Lions tweeted back, there's emergency numbers are by the phone,
Yeah.
and things like that. It was a playful thing. I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like don't break the tables and
Yeah, and just leave the tables alone.
Yeah.
yeah. And then after the game, they showed it on NBC pregame. Someone was locking up the locker room, and they said, "Oh, we left everything set up for you for Thanksgiving dinner. See you in a couple days."
That's funny.
Anyway, the Browns try their best to ruin the day, but the Bills do what is needed to skate away with a 31-23 win. Jacoby Brissett throws for three touchdowns, Jim.
Elite.
Okay.
in a losing effort in what is most likely his last game at quarterback for the Browns.
No, he's
They
out
better
next
hope.
week.
Thought the Texans were next week.
No, the Bucks game's next week. I'm going up to Cleveland.
Ooh.
You poor thing.
He wants to see Jacoby Brissett before he's done.
Yeah.
Is that why you're going up, Nate? There's nothing to do with Tom Brady.
No, I want to go up there and get a Watson special.
The Panthers taking on the Ravens in a game where most would have thought Baltimore would put the game away early.
Like,
the
I
Panthers,
wanted to say something about Josh Allen and everything, and you just ruined it.
moving on.
God damn.
Panthers, led by Baker Mayfield, stay relevant until the Ravens score late, winning 13-3 in a game that was pretty crucial to keep them atop the AFC North Division.
Yeah, I saw they got Mark Andrews back, and I kept score checking. I'm like, why in the heck is this such low scoring? I really thought the Ravens would have ran away with this.
I agree. Cold weather game. I mean, that was a lot of what people were playing with this week, especially on Sunday. So I'm not sure either. I watched a little bit of this game. It just seemed like the game flow was just terrible.
It was
a lot
it
of
was like trudging through crap.
Say it again, Alex.
It was trudging through crap.
Is that what watching it was looking like?
Yeah, it was just like boom, boom, slow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was molasses.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield is shit.
Second.
I don't disagree.
I don't think there's anything new there, is there?
I mean, he genuinely, when he throws the ball, you're just like, what are you doing? But anyway.
Speaking of Detroit, the Lions, things that are shit, taking on the Giants. The Giants
Hey.
come into this one with high
They won.
hopes.
They're
They won.
They're storing back into their Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, don't talk shit on the Lions.
But
It
leave
cost me money.
disappointed. But leave disappointed as the Lions show out, winning 31-18, thanks to the running game, including a 3-touchdown game from Jamal Williams. Daniel Jones picked off twice, and Saquon Barkley limited to 35 total yards. And
Where the hell has Detroit been? Like, where was this Detroit when Alex and I were like throwing our money at them?
Listen, they'll be back to normal on Thursday. Because why? You remember, Sam?
No.
It's not Thanksgiving until the Lions lose.
That's true. That's true.
You never know.
You never know. Well, I think you know.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance. Raiders taking on the Broncos. Welcome to the Toilet Bowl in a game that is the woulda, coulda, shoulda of the season. But actually ends up to be entertaining as it gets to overtime. But the Raiders are the best of the worst in this one, winning 22-16 thanks to a Devontae Adams touchdown from Derek Carr in overtime.
They forgot the message to throw this one.
What?
Who are they tanking for, Jim?
Whatever Davis says. Al says, I've heard teams tank. This is what
Well, yeah,
we do.
Knowing the Raiders, it's not like they're going to tank for the best player in the draft. They'll tank for someone everybody thinks is a reach.
Right.
Yes, in pure Raiders fashion.
They don't have to tank for the players that they typically get.
Yeah, they're always there.
Always around.
And who knows? Maybe they don't want a top first round pick because look what happened to their past 5
Yeah.
first round
It's been bad.
team.
It's been really bad.
It's been bad. So bad.
Cowboys taking on the Vikings. The Vikings have been doing their part to prove all the haters wrong this season until today. The Cowboys can do no wrong and ride a solid team performance all the way to a 42-3 win. Zeke Elliott scores 2 touchdowns on the ground, and Dak Prescott finds Tony Pollard twice through the air. Are the Cowboys poised for a championship run?
Only if they can prove that they can do this more than 1 week.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good take.
Tony Pollard's good.
He is.
Tony
He's
Pollard
better.
is the deal.
He's better for them than Zeke is.
Oh, absolutely.
Agreed. And lastly, in the Sunday afternoon games, the Bengals taking on the Steelers. In the hunt to never have a losing season under Mike Tomlin, the Steelers shit the bed, despite having many opportunities thanks to a defense that did what they could. Jim, Joe Burrow only sacked twice in this one.
Unbelievable. So I was at a restaurant with friends, and it appeared from the first half, and my back was to the game, so I kept turning. It appeared like Joe was on his ass like 12 times.
He was.
So much so, like the friend said, Cincinnati's offensive line does not exist. So when I came and I was like doing the show, getting myself ready, going to talk about the contest that we had, winner Joe Schmidt. I thought, sure as shit, we hit the over. 2 sacks. I feel like that's a
There were
misprint.
Looking down at the box score, under the miscellaneous for defense, it says he was hit 7 other times.
I was gonna say he got like knocked down a lot.
And they forced 2 interceptions. But the Bengals do win 37-30. Just so we're clear.
I don't know, that TJ Watt interception, holy shit.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
If I am the defense for the Steelers, I literally look at the offense and go, what more do you people want?
Yes. I know. I think that all the time. Like, how do they not just want to punch each other in the face all of the time?
And I'm snagging that offensive coordinator and I'm going, you're a dead man.
Well, Pittsburgh's been saying that for the past 2 to 3 years.
Dear God. And it's not Pickett's fault. And I know some Yinzers are probably hanging on Pickett somewhere eventually. But it's not his fault either.
He didn't play terrible. I think he's got growing pains for sure, but I think that he's got potential.
In that system, what do you want him to do?
Exactly. I mean,
in the end with Kenny Pickett, they still had, albeit they needed an onside kick, they still had an opportunity to tie the game late in the game.
yeah.
They were
And
in,
honestly,
they were in it sort of kinda.
Yeah, but you two are rational Yinzers. Somewhat. I'm giving you way too much credit. But
To who? Us?
yeah. I'm talking about the traditional Yinzer is gonna eventually shit on Kenny.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's not gonna be that poor kid's fault.
Well, they used to do it to like Ben even. They'd be like, oh, Ben sucks. Ben sucks. Then when Ben was good, they're like, oh, Ben's great. Ben's great.
I saw an interview with Ben and he hinted at that.
Yeah, there's a lot of fair weather fans in this area.
Yeah.
In the whole area. Live looking, Nate, Chiefs Chargers.
Right now, it's 7-3 Chargers.
Ooh.
Don't worry about it, guys.
Honestly, isn't that what we said last week?
Yeah, they'll give that one away eventually.
Okay. And in
Jim,
Monday Night
there's
Football.
This guy playing the Chargers. He's wearing number 13. You know who the hell he is?
Is it really the ghost of Keenan Allen? Is he out there?
Yes, he is.
No.
Did you start him in fantasy this week, Jim?
I did not, because I did not believe that was a real thing.
Yeah. In Monday Night Football, we have the 49ers taking on the Cardinals. What are our picks?
Niners.
All my bets are in, so I can say whatever the hell I want. I'm going to say the Cardinals.
Oh. So what, you don't really care? It's an 8-point spread. You have to bet with the spread.
I actually have real life money on the Niners.
8 points to the Cardinals?
Yes.
Give me the Cardinals.
Who's playing at quarterback, Jim? Do you know that?
Nope.
Okay. Taking the Niners.
They almost lost to the Chargers last week.
Since this game is in Mexico City, give me Los Nueves.
What? The news?
The Niners.
Oh, I was like, new egg?
Tell we are not a multilingual show.
We'll work on it.
You must hit the closed captioning button to get to this in Spanish. That wraps up NFL Week 11, which brings us into
the college football breakdown.
It does. It's a wild week.
What a week in college football.
Yeah,
you know what?
Loser week.
I'm going to go on record right now. Okay, I don't do this often.
Okay.
I'm going to apologize to Alex.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I saw the performance in the TCU game, and I said, the Big 12 is shit.
Yes.
That close of a game, number 14, that was ridiculous. And then all of college football decided to follow suit in shitty ass performances Turns out, Alex, there was something in the college football water,
Wasn't our fault.
and it's not the Big 12's problem this week. I apologize for banging on the Big 12 this
Jim,
week.
you're a big man. Thank you.
Hey, don't talk about my size like that. It's not nice.
Take it out of you. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So
We don't know what size he was talking about.
Oh,
We're gonna have to put an E rating on here because of Nate this week.
got that dog in him. Speaking of the dogs, #1 Georgia survives against Kentucky 16-6.
yeah. Stetson had a shitty week. We were talking about that before Muff disappeared. I think Muff next snagged you.
Yeah. It looked like a bad thing or whether it was just a little blip on the radar.
Let me run this by you real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was hoping to have this debate with Muff, not you, but you just happened to bite.
Gotcha.
They played close, beating Missouri 26-22.
Okay.
They did beat Tennessee, but they didn't dominate Tennessee. And they struggled against Kentucky. All I'm saying is they're mortal.
Oh yeah, they're mortal.
And I think when you see a game like this, and you're TCU, Michigan, LSU for the championship, you think, oh, there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yes.
You think maybe Georgia's just playing down to their opponents in those two games? Well, you mentioned the Mizzou game.
That's kind of what I was wondering, and I didn't say it like that, but
That's a good thought.
like they just get by what they have to because they have such an elite level they can kick on. They're just like, let's take it easy here.
I've seen that argument done to Ohio State year in and year out, and no national championships.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
South Carolina gets another big win at home this year, this time over #5 Tennessee 63-38. Yikes.
Should have put money on this.
Well, we also didn't realize that Hendon Hooker was going to tear his ACL.
He tore his ACL late in the game. That was gone. That was done in the first half.
Yeah, that was an old-fashioned take you out back.
Yeah.
They should have pulled Hooker.
I disagree with that.
If you're getting mollywopped by
That's
the
dramatic.
first half,
That's dramatic.
this guy's got a Heisman opportunity. You know you're not coming back from that.
He doesn't have a Heisman opportunity if you're going to pull him.
I
That's what
don't
I mean.
care. He's got a career to look after.
I don't know. No, I disagree. I don't think there was.
Now,
would
would you feel the same way had he not gotten hurt?
Yes.
I was watching this game, and yes, the score was bad, but Tennessee really didn't look out of it. Like Tennessee looked like still the Tennessee that could turn. Like there were spots where I was like, oh, they're going to turn it on and come back. That never crossed my mind. Personally, I'm going
to be very curious to see just how far they fall
They fell to 9.
in the AP.
Yeah.
Which honestly is less than I thought they would fall. I didn't know if they would factor in the fact that they no longer have Hendon Hooker now.
It was 35-24 at halftime.
Okay.
So he should not have been pulled at halftime.
Yeah, you're right. I take it back. And then in the fourth quarter, South Carolina scores 21 points.
But at what point was it when
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Looking at it, I take that statement back. I still probably would have been like, at some point, you got to know, oh shit, we're screwed.
Yeah. And in hindsight, now that he did get hurt, it's easier to say that, why did you even bother leaving him in? But I think they still had playoff hopes. I mean, if they didn't have any playoff hopes, then it'd be different. Then I would probably be more on your side.
That's an uphill battle. And I just don't think Tennessee was built for that.
I just feel really bad for Hendon Hooker.
Me too.
That's the one. #6 LSU beats UAB 41-10.
Who cares? Keep moving.
#7 USC continues to keep their hopes alive in the Pac-12 with a 48-45 win over #16 UCLA.
I actually stayed up and watched this whole game, and it was
Me too.
Game to actually be able to see a whole USC game.
Yes. And I will tell. Here's my thing. Here comes Conspiracy Jim. I would have loved to watch that game without the commentators to see if I have the feeling about USC that I do now. The
So are
USC,
Sorry.
the commentators backed USC so damn hard, and backed that Caleb Williams for Heisman like every turn, and then started talking shit about CJ Stroud. And I know this is going to be the Ohio Homer thing, but when it's a Ohio State game, they like fawn all over CJ Stroud. I hate Fox commentary.
So do you hate it equally when they fawn all over CJ Stroud?
Yes, I think it's ignorant.
Remember this, Alex. Remember this.
I absolutely hate it.
Number
but I
8.
think my whole point here is I think USC is a contender, and I don't know if Fox put that thought in my head or not.
Well, they did clinch a spot in the Pac-12 championship game with that win. Now it's just a matter of, are they going to play Utah again, or are they going to play Oregon?
And can they beat either one of those teams? You watched that game last night. What do you think?
Offensively, they can beat anybody. Their defense leaves a lot to be desired.
Can they beat who, Jim?
Either Utah or Oregon.
Who's USC's lost to this year?
Utah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think they can beat Utah. I think they can beat both teams. I think it's going to be a good championship game.
Oh, I'll watch.
Yeah. Number 8, Alabama gets the benefit of a weaker opponent and gets the 34-0 victory over Austin Peay.
And they got started real slow in that game.
Yeah, I think they knew what they were getting into with that one.
Well, it's not a Alabama team of old when that was the score against Austin Peay.
I don't understand why every big, I should say, elite team like USC's, Ohio State's, Michigan's, Tennessee's, all these teams that are really, really good don't do this schedule a BS team this week.
Like,
I think the AD of Alabama is a genius.
Well, I think it's like the only conference, the SEC, that has this built into their schedule, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, once you start conference play, it's conference play the rest of the season.
Yep. Why not start off your beginning of your season? I'll take an Iowa, a Minnesota, a Rutgers at the start of the season and give me Akron the week before the big game.
Yeah.
That's just genius.
I think there could be pros and cons to that, though. I mean, if you like set back on your haunches a little bit, and then maybe you're not I don't know.
Yeah, you think you're like, oh, well, I got this team I know that has no business playing in my stadium and rest all my players, and should be a cakewalk of a game, and then you get caught up and it's a trap game.
Yeah, but all these teams that have rivals this week are looking ahead. I mean, it's evident in the scores.
Yeah.
Look ahead playing Austin Peay. Go ahead.
Well, it wasn't like Austin Peay had a bad record coming in. After that loss, they're 7-4. I remember years ago when Alabama would play like an FCS like Austin Peay, or they would play like New Mexico State, who was like 2-8.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at least they got lucky with scheduling and played a team with a winning record, at least.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun for the Austin Peay guys, too, to be able to be like, hey, I went and played at Bama.
Yeah.
Number 9, Clemson with a 40-10 victory over Miami.
If there was ever a team that is not back and probably won't be back for years, it's Miami.
I'm telling you, every year, as long as they're bowl eligible, Miami versus Texas, the who's back bowl.
Texas, I give more credit to Texas, though, than Miami. Miami is straight trash.
Texas had a better year than.
Yeah, definitely. Number 12, Oregon beats number 10, Utah, 20-17.
Could not stay up for this game. Wanted to, had full intentions. Not going to happen.
Agreed. It's big. I mean, this is a big game for the Pac-12. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see where things end up. Number 13, North Carolina gets beaten by unranked Georgia Tech, 21-17.
That's bad.
That's a bad loss.
Yeah, Georgia Tech is not good.
Because they were up 17-0 in that game.
Yes. I was like, this will be a nice little route. I quit watching it because I was like, yeah, okay. Guess not.
No bueno for North Carolina. Arkansas shows up to play against number 14, Ole Miss, winning 42-27.
Poor Lane.
I tell you what, Lane Kiffin, who I thought was like a genius, showed why he's not a great coach.
His dad's the coach of the family, not him.
He just couldn't get it together. Once he was down, he looked confused. It was almost like he was looking at the other team going, hey, we're supposed to win this. You're not letting us.
Yeah, please stop what you're doing.
He just looked lost out there. Maybe he has a drug problem.
What?
I think
That's what the
made
people.
a leap.
That's what the people of Tennessee said. Like he had a drug problem.
Skittles.
Not
What
sure
kind
how
of-
this plays into this
It's
game,
fentanyl
but
Skittles.
Apparently, he's on fentanyl skills.
Fentanyl Skittles.
I mean, that's what these people claim that they're replacing Skittles with. So
Never know.
I hate
I
Skittles.
don't know who's giving up their fentanyl to make it into Skittles. but
I was gonna say I saw like a meme. It says like, "Don't worry, us drug people aren't giving up our drugs to put them in your kids' candy."
Yeah.
I mean, that just seems like a waste of money, but whatever.
All right.
number 17, Washington takes care of business against Colorado, 54-7.
Colorado, college football's punching bag.
Yeah, right.
Number 18, Notre Dame blanks Boston College, 44-0.
This
That's
was
a good win.
It was a good win for Notre Dame because Boston College isn't great, but Boston College has put up decent games against decent teams this year.
Yep.
Okay. Number 19, Florida State routs Louisiana.
What are you okay for? What
Yeah,
is
that
it
would
okay
49
for?
17.
Asked for.
It's Boston College. I think there's a little bit of bias in this other side of the screen right now.
I swear to God, it's like you forgot the betting episode where we did all this recon. They were not supposed to blank them by any means. We did all the research. That's a good win to blank Boston College.
Yeah, 3-8 Boston College.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, how is that a good win in any life?
I'm not
I
saying that
believe
Boston
Alex and
College-
I are saying to shut them out is a feat,
because
considering the scores they've put up.
they have given good games to other teams.
I still
So-
don't say it's a good win though.
We would have put money on them otherwise.
Right, because all of our picks of the week have won.
Alex.
We never get along, Jim, but I'm with you on this one.
Go ahead, Buff.
Florida State routs Louisiana, 49-17. Alex, did you put money on Florida State?
I actually did. Well, I did not directly put money on Florida State. I put them in a little side parlay that lost
Yeah.
from other people, not Florida State.
Navy upsets number 20 Central Florida, 17-14.
That's like the second time they've upset a ranked opponent in the history of Navy or something like that.
Really?
Seems odd that that's the second time, but
Yeah, I feel like they've done it before. I don't know why that. I mean, obviously they have once, but I feel like they've done it often.
yeah.
Number 21 Tulane beats SMU, 59-24.
Tulane
Did
routed them.
not see that coming.
No.
Not that score.
I'm actually watched Tulane.
They're a fun team to watch, right?
Yeah, they look good. I mean, they
Yeah.
were.
Number 23 Oregon State beats Arizona State, 31-7.
Yeah, okay. I'm over that part of the Pac-12.
Okay. Louisville takes out number 24 NC State, 25-10.
NC State garbage.
Yes.
Oh, even more
Overrated.
garbage than who? They're ranked.
Overrated.
They probably should never have been ranked.
No, he's just saying NC State's garbage because they lost to Boston College.
Right. They have to be.
According to your logic, Muff.
I didn't say it was a good win for
The hell with
anybody.
you, Muff. The hell with you.
With you, Muff.
And another team from Ohio beat Temple 23-3.
Yeah, that happened.
Is that a good win?
No,
Mhm.
Okay. As long as we're clear, that's not a good win.
it was
No.
fine. They gave up 3 points, though, and they only scored 20. They
Yeah.
were in the 30s.
Okay. Bring us into the Big Ten, Jim.
Wisconsin scores 15 unanswered points in the second half and beats Nebraska 15-14.
Wow.
Purdue takes care of Northwestern 17-9. Probably
The
would
other-
have had. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say the punching bag of college football.
Correct. There was a pick six called back in this game because the defensive player had excessive high stepping.
What?
Deion Sanders, huh?
You can't accept, but like it doesn't call it back.
Called back.
I disagree with that. I don't care if they're like, hey, you're being an asshole 15 yards on the kickoff.
Indiana outscores Michigan State 39-31. That's a good win for Indiana.
Yeah, because Michigan State had won a couple games
Yeah,
since
they were getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa scores 13 points, and it's enough to stop the boat, beating Minnesota 30-10.
13 to 10.
Yeah. Iowa's going to be in the Big Ten championship.
If they win.
Blows my mind.
More to come later on that. There's scenarios.
Number 11, Penn State beats their rival Rutgers 50-10. Good rival win.
55 to 10.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Got to give respect to the rivalry. My fault.
Is it really a rivalry if the one team never wins?
Ask the fans from Rutgers.
Right. This is Jim hopping on the Rutgers bandwagon.
No, it's not. I can't. You're like,
What?
you have Alzheimer's.
Oh,
Why?
Do you not remember the Twitter battle you got with the Rutgers fan?
Right. This is you jumping on the Rutgers bandwagon. I never said it was a rival.
They did.
Right. That's why you're on the Rutgers.
This is me making fun of them.
I was going to say, I
Okay,
think it's facetious.
Yes.
Is it facetious?
Number 3, Michigan snuck out with a game-winning field goal, beating Illinois 19-17.
Is there nothing else in there you want to talk about? How the fact
No,
that it was
you can.
like a non. Did you say Michigan, by the way?
I did.
Ooh.
He said it more than once today.
I did.
Oh, look at you! You're a bad Ohio State fan.
That's fine.
Couple things towards the end of this game. One, there was what I thought after review. I wasn't watching this game live, but I saw the replays. What I thought would be a blatant offensive pass interference on Michigan, and then a very questionable defensive pass interference on Illinois. Nate, I want your thoughts on this if you've seen these.
I saw the no call OPI that should have been OPI. That was a 4th down play, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's clear as day. The guy goes downfield and is blocking, and that pass was not caught at or behind the line of scrimmage.
How about the DPI call?
That one I did not.
Okay. I didn't see that particular replay, but all I saw was the outcry afterwards. And Brett Bielema is also playing the song of, I guess we all know what everyone wanted to see here, this matchup being a high profile one. So they got the home cooking.
I sent you guys, I believe I sent you guys a TikTok about the issue with the tunnel again. Are either one of you going to acknowledge that?
I don't know. Did you send one?
I'm pretty sure I did.
I missed it if you did.
Go ahead, Jim, talk about it. This is your thing.
Michigan purposely came out late from halftime, forcing Illinois to come out late and causing 2 minutes to be added to the halftime clock because they share that tunnel. And Bielema was not bringing his players out at the same time as Michigan. And told officials, look, we're going to keep this pleasant. You guys go, we go. That's how we're going to do this. Everybody agreed. And then Michigan came out late. They used that tunnel as a weapon.
I'm good for Bielema for being like, hey, we're just going to avoid that being an issue instead of playing into the.
And Harbaugh says, okay, well, you can avoid it. We're still going to make it a sticky area for you. Jim Harbaugh is a piece of shit.
And here it begins.
I'm just putting it out there. Ohio State skates by with a win 43-30 in a game that was close most of the way until pulling away late. That is a great note. That is exactly what happened. There was a lot of fear in my heart in that game. Thank God.
Jim tried to quit call this game early.
Yeah.
After Michigan won, Jim said all eyes on the game next week.
Oh, absolutely. I was on the Bielema camp.
I just think it's funny because this game started to go bad for a while shortly after Jim started harassing me for the aforementioned apology he gave. And I was like, now I want Ohio State to lose so bad. I want them.
I messed up real bad. But the only reason I said all eyes on the game next week is because I believe there was home cooking in Michigan, and
Yeah.
that's why there was such shitty calls.
Yeah, like they're just trying to make sure that it's
They're trying to hype this as the most rated, most watched game in college football history. It's ridiculous. I don't want that fanfare. No, thank you.
See, the only reason that I wanted, I originally was like, I want Ohio State to lose this game now because F Jim. And then I was like, I don't want Ohio State to lose because I'm really excited about the Michigan Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, like I was like, I don't want it to like kill it.
Mm. You want to talk about nerves? I got nerves. Go ahead, Muff. Do with your Big Ten scenarios.
Now, the Big Ten East crown will be decided next week in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the Big Ten West has 3 different scenarios, including Iowa, Purdue, and Illinois. Iowa wins. It is in the Big Ten championship game and plays Nebraska this week. Jim, this could be the Nebraska that you want to see.
I don't care who wins.
You don't.
As long as everyone has a good time.
As long as Ohio State wins. That's all Jim cares about.
Yes.
Purdue is in with a win and an Iowa loss. And Illinois is in with a win and losses by both Iowa and Purdue. The only thing I don't know is what if all of these teams lose? I'm guessing it's still Iowa then.
Yeah, I would say.
I think that's how that plays out.
Good grief.
So get ready for the Big Ten West to put the best foot forward in the Big Ten championship game.
They throw Northwestern. We all suck. Here you go. This is our tribute.
All right, Alex, let's talk Big 12.
The Big 12 this week. Texas came out and had a big win against Kansas, 55-14. I did not foresee that. I thought that would be a better game. I knew Texas would win, but I thought Kansas would come out a little better. But that's all right. Texas Tech gets the W against Iowa State, 14-10, in a slow burner. Oklahoma bounces back and gets a win over number 22 Oklahoma State, 28-13. Number 15 Kansas State beat my Mountaineers 48-31. And number 4 TCU narrowly squeaks by Baylor 29-28. That was like my fear in my heart moment. And I'm not even a TCU like quote unquote fan, but obviously they're my dog in the race now because they're a Big 12 team. It is likely that TCU will end up playing Kansas State for the Big 12 title game.
I don't understand, and I mean this as not a criticism, more of a question. Did you want Texas to win against Kansas as a Big 12 fan, not as a bettor, as a Big 12 fan?
I mean, I think it looks better to keep your teams that are decent, but I like the Kansas story. So yes, I think Kansas upsetting Texas I would have enjoyed at this point in the season.
And Oklahoma bouncing back against Oklahoma State, how'd that make you feel?
It makes WVU's win look better.
But as a Big 12 fan,
as a Big 12 fan, I think it tells me that they're all about on the same playing field and they're just beating the crap out of each other.
Okay.
I've been saying.
That's the difference between your conference or your fandom and ours. Like
Why?
Oklahoma beating Oklahoma State, if that was the Big Ten, I hate that.
Why?
Because I want all the Big Ten teams that are ranked to keep winning. And
I mean,
I want Texas to lose because they're leaving.
But earlier I didn't really think about the Texas leaving thing. I was just kind of thinking of it as a this year situation. But earlier in the season, yeah, probably. But Oklahoma State doesn't have a shot in hell. Like, obviously, I'm over for TCU. I would have been really pissed off if they would have lost.
But you guys have to show out in bowls, and you have to be ranked to make those like good bowls.
I don't know. I'm
just asking the fandom, like the differences and the ways.
That's just, I guess, it's kind of how I think. But if it was like a top 15 team or something, yes, I would agree.
Okay.
But at 22, I'm just kind of like, meh. Our number 15 won, our number 4 won. 22 Oklahoma State lost to Oklahoma.
Fair enough.
You might as well just take it as a, hey, we beat Oklahoma and you didn't. Haha.
All right.
Alex, I just want to give you some ammunition potentially for Jim. Coming into this week, the Big 12 had just as many ranked teams as the Big 10.
I'm not saying one's better than the other. I did not say that tonight, Alex.
Tonight you did not. You're right.
Saturday, you did.
Tonight
Saturday I
you
did.
Okay. I'm just clarifying that you actually have definitely 110% said that before.
All right, moving on. Let's go to the polls. The AP poll came out, had Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan in the top 4. Georgia and TCU, sorry. Basically, so the coaches poll, playoff poll has the same. Then we'll go down below there.
All right.
They all have USC at 5, LSU at 6. Clemson and Alabama and the coaches and AP poll are interchangeable. 9, it gets interesting. Tennessee is 9 in the AP poll. Oregon is 9 in the coaches. Oregon is 10 in the AP. Penn State is 10. Penn State is 11 in the AP. Tennessee is 11 in the coaches. They both say Washington is 12. Then it's Notre Dame at 13 in the AP. Kansas State in the coaches. They both have Utah at 12. Then it's Kansas State at 15 in the AP and Notre Dame at 15 in the coaches. I will tell you, I fall right in line with the coaches poll.
Okay.
Obviously, we're going to have a bit of a shake-up in the top 15 in the college football playoff rankings, as you have Tennessee, Utah, UNC, and Ole Miss all losing this week.
Yes. So tomorrow when they do these, we'll see what happens.
Okay, so Jim falls in line with the coaches poll, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, Alex, where do you fall?
I have the same top 6 as I have the same top 6 as the coaches poll, and then starting at number 7, I have Penn State, number 8 Clemson, number 9 Bama, number 10 Oregon, number 11 Kansas State, number 12 Washington, number 13 Florida State, number 14 Tennessee, number 15 Notre Dame.
All right, I go Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, which is exactly how the top 3 last week. Then Michigan, USC, LSU, as many others have had. I have Clemson and Bama at 7 and 8. I have Penn State at 9. So mimicking, I believe, the coaches poll. And then I go Oregon, Tennessee, Kansas State to me jumps up to 12, Washington at 13, Utah at 14, and I actually have Florida State on the 15 line, as opposed to Notre Dame or Kansas State, as others have had.
So a couple things I just realized that I didn't notice. I made my ranking without realizing Hooker is out.
Yeah, that's why they dropped too low for me.
That was a good call for you. I would probably drop them down to 14 and bump everybody up. I have a question for the group, so Nate, please participate. We know Georgia plays LSU. We know the game. We know TCU has a championship. We know USC has a championship. So the top 6 will obviously have a shakeup coming in. We know that at least 3 of these teams may or may not make it out.
Yeah.
Who do you have in the championship as of today? Trying to predict the future.
Wait, so we're predicting the future for the championship later and not knowing who's going to be in the top 4 yet?
Well, we know that Georgia plays LSU. We know that
if
Ohio
everybody wins
State,
if everybody wins next week.
No, that's a lock.
Right, but doesn't mean that they're going in there with the same records they have.
Yes, we're going to assume that Georgia and LSU win next week.
Okay.
We're going to assume that TCU makes it to their championship and USC makes it to their championship. We're going to assume that the winner of the game wins their championship. Who do you have in the playoff?
In the playoff or in the championship?
In the playoff.
Okay. So you changed up the games here. Who do you have? Posing the question, sir.
I have Georgia, Ohio State, USC, and I'm sketchy on 4.
Okay, I have Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, USC.
Okay.
Off on those 4.
Yeah, I think Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, and yeah, USC. I think for me, as long as, like I said, as long as they win, because I just think it's going to be the same 4. I think the only 4 I see changing is whoever loses between Ohio State and Michigan has a chance to drop out. Now, I could see if Ohio State and Michigan play a close game, and Ohio State wins, you get Georgia, Ohio State, TCU. And then say USC looks bad or LSU, you know what I mean? If USC looks bad, I think I would put Michigan in above like an LSU or Penn State.
You also have Clemson sitting there in the wings.
And Bama.
But
No,
you're
Bama-
not a 2-loss Bama is not going to get in.
Maybe there's a 2-loss Penn State then.
I never said a 2-loss Penn State had a chance.
I was talking
One
about. I'm
loss
talking out.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying a 1-loss Michigan, I think could get in still.
I could see Georgia, Ohio State, USC. TCU wins their championship. And then there's that debate of how close the game was. I could see somebody
No,
bumping TCU out.
no, I think if
TCU has to get style points.
I think
I
as
mean-
long see, no, I disagree. If TCU goes undefeated and wins their conference championship, they will be in the. If they are not in the top 4, I think that's bullshit.
Nobody said it wasn't bullshit. If they have a tight game against Kansas State and Michigan has a tight game against Ohio State.
Yeah,
what
but
do you do?
they do always say they're apparently valuing the conference championship.
Right.
I think the only chance that the loser of Ohio State Michigan has is if like USC loses and TCU win. Like I'm saying, if TCU wins out.
That's not a bad point.
Yeah.
So we think TCU is not on the edge sitting out. We think USC is. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, as long as TCU handles their business, it is theirs to lose, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think look on USC definitely they're in control of their own destiny right now. If USC wins out, they're gonna get in. Because somebody's gonna knock one of the other ones out between Ohio State, Michigan. That's a given. I don't see Georgia losing, and TCU again, they control their own destiny.
Okay.
USC's winning in.
Yeah,
Okay.
USC wins, they're in. TCU wins, they're in. Because Ohio State, Michigan, they're gonna knock each other out.
LSU beats Georgia.
I don't think Georgia falls out of 4 unless they get pummeled like Tennessee did this week.
I think
Yeah.
if LSU beats Georgia, Georgia's not going to fall out.
TCU bump up, or LSU bump up.
It's
Not
a 2-loss though. I mean, they've got to
Yeah,
look
2-loss
good.
team.
not high enough to get in. It would have to be that
Yeah.
it would be either between USC and LSU at that point. I'm putting USC in. I would probably put it at the winner of Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, TCU, and then either USC or LSU.
I think that's a more interesting conversation then.
I don't think there's any interesting to it.
And they beat the number one
a-
team.
A 2-loss beats the number 1 team.
LSU's loss is to Bama and Georgia, right? No, they beat Bama.
Yes,
Who's the other loss to?
LSU, let's see.
it was someone. not
LSU
very-
lost to Florida State.
I was going to say it was early on.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're right.
So they're not a 2-loss team then.
They would be if they lost to.
You're saying that they beat
Oh
Georgia.
no, yeah, they beat Georgia.
Are we correct? They're only 1-loss team right now. LSU.
The LSU has 2 losses.
Who's their other loss to?
Florida State.
Who's their
And
other
who?
loss to?
Oh, sorry. I thought that was that one. Hold on, my bad.
Very interesting.
Did they lose to Florida?
No,
It's LSU. If my phone will load,
good conversation.
I know. Somebody cue the Jeopardy music.
I'm going to see if I start now, if I can beat Nate.
I know that's the race.
I'm already
to-
trying.
LSU lost to Tennessee,
Yeah.
Okay.
40-13.
Oh yeah, no. USC's in.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
So now with Hooker out, my last question before we get into Mount Massive.
Yes.
With Hooker out, who are if you had to name 4 people, I'll give you 4, 3 or 4 that you can send to New York for the Heisman. Who are you sending?
CJ Stroud.
I would send Caleb Williams.
Yes, Caleb Williams, probably still Stetson Bennett, even though he played a rough game. I think if Georgia continues to win, he has earned the trip.
So, but Caleb Williams over Bo Nix.
Yes.
Assuming Bo Nix doesn't play anymore.
I think that
Yes.
Caleb Williams over Bo Nix, A, for assuming that, and B, for just the success of the team thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I think those are good picks. I hate sending CJ Stroud though. As an Ohio State fan, I hate it.
I would honestly, as a dark horse, would throw in Max Duggan from TCU.
He might. I could see.
Listen,
I don't.
He wasn't even the starter coming out of camp.
Yeah, he has no shot in hell to win the Heisman, but I think sending him, I could see. Like almost like a gesture type deal.
Yeah, same thing. I think with that Blake Corum at Michigan.
Yeah.
There's another one. Yeah.
We know anything on his injury update, Jim?
I hope his leg fell off.
Wow, that's
Here at Sports Stuff with Jim Muff, we do not hope injuries on people.
we do not, even when there are rivals.
Breaking
I hope
news.
they put it back the week
Sports-
after.
Jim hopes that Michigan's running back is now an amputee.
I hope they put it
Clip
back,
it.
or at least get him a good prosthetic.
All right.
That's the college football breakdown. This is Mount Massive.
Yodeling.
All right. This is a rivalry week. And in the theme of rivalry week, we are going to put up the top 5 rivalries in college football. I will begin. I have at number 5, Penn State at Rutgers. I'm joking. It was in jest. That is a joke. That's why I had it that way, Mr. Anal, about the format, Alex. I'm gonna have the number 5 Miami at Florida State. When they both were decent, it was a good game to watch. Number 4 USC at UCLA. The pageantry in that game, the Rose Bowl, it's cool to watch when you're, I assume when you're a West Coaster and you can see it all the time. It's fun to watch it last night. Number 3, Army Navy. I just dig that game.
Mhm.
It just gives you a different vibe. It's college football, but like America. Number 2, Auburn and Alabama. I mean, they killed a tree over this.
The Iron Bowl.
It's insane. And then, of course, number 1 is the D game. They call it D game for a reason. Ohio State versus the team up north.
So we're done saying Michigan now?
Yeah, I was going to slow burn into it. I don't want to talk as much shit as I have because we lost last year. So, like, I'm kind of just like warming into it.
Okay. I'll go next. No particular order. Army Navy. Again, America's game. Harvard Yale.
But did we ever get to see that?
One of the most contested.
It is, but why don't they televise it more?
Because Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't play there anymore.
Oh,
We can't see him anymore.
Gotcha.
It is televised typically. It's just not. It's usually during a time when other games are going on that you don't want to watch.
Gotcha.
But there's something to that game that I think that will stand the test of time. Miami, Florida State, again, it in its heyday was obviously probably the most heated rivalry in all of college sports, or at least in college football. Next, I have USC Notre Dame in the traditional powerhouses of college football, the traditional names, what came to the matchup. Always used. I mean, it's always brings viewers, right? No matter what, brings viewers. And on my list in the last spot is Michigan Ohio State.
I hate the USC Notre Dame rivalry.
Why?
I don't think it's legit. I don't think it's a thing.
Okay. Well, that is the butt of my list, actually. Number 5, USC Notre Dame. Number 4, I have the Backyard Brawl, Pitt versus WVU. Number 3, Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl. Number 2, I have Army Navy as well on my list. And number 1, I do agree with Jim, Ohio State, Michigan. The Michigan game. Just kidding. I just wanted to stir it up a little for you. No, but I do agree. It's the best college football rivalry.
National titles, Heisman's, lots of things are decided in that game. My blood pressure,
Your state of well-being for the next year.
pretty much. It does like set the mood for the year. Like it
For the
it
next
does-
year?
Yes. It truly does in my life.
So how was this year for you, bud?
It has sucked. Like it is genuinely sucked. There and like you have those Ohio State homers that are like
So you, okay.
they just ignore it. No, like I'm different. You have the Ohio State guys that ignore it. That still are willing to walk up to a person in a Michigan jersey and talk shit. I can't do that. Like I've spent the whole year walking past Michigan people in a Michigan jersey going, yeah, good for them. Like I can't do it. Now, if we win this year, best believe I'm gonna be that annoying motherfucker that does that. But right now,
Well, how can you talk
Why
shit?
can't you be subdued at all times?
because it's the game.
Have you
Yeah.
met him?
Thank you.
What'd you say, Alex?
Have you met him? His subdued version is not very subdued.
Just curious.
That's true. I like how you're both on the phones now. This is great YouTubery.
Listen, there's NFL football being played. Now to check my stats. I have a parlay.
There's things going on, buddy. There's things going on. We're not all caring as much as you about this game.
I know because your team sucks, and I don't know how to feel that
Oh,
way.
is that how it is? Because Penn State's
Yeah.
probably gonna be a top 10 team. So
Don't really
shut
feel
your
like
mouth
it.
for a
You
second.
guys
Mine
don't have
sucks.
good rivalries. You don't have conference championships
Actually,
that
we
you
do, like,
chase.
mine was
The only
just
reason you have a
great.
good rivalry now is because of Jim Harbaugh. You're welcome. If
Okay.
not, it wouldn't be a rivalry game. It wouldn't
I'm
be mean as much. So you should
Pretty
be
sure it would
thanking
still
Jim
mean
Harbaugh.
as much.
I don't think it would mean as much if Jim Harbaugh hadn't brought this team back.
He brought him back for he brought him back for 1 year. He got his ass kicked for like 7.
Okay. Is this not more exciting now that Jim Harbaugh
No,
is
it's
here?
not exciting. There's no excitement here. It's nerves. Did you not follow along here?
I feel like it's like Groundhog Day for Jim. Like, yeah, he's gonna see his shadow. Like, is it gonna be a good year, bad year?
Right. This is not good times. Anyway, that's Mount Massive.
It'll like,
This is start.
woo,
Bench.
huh.
Cut. All right. World Cup's going on. I've decided we got to get into the soccer a little bit.
Okay.
So, right off the rip, would you start, bench, or cut Lionel Messi, Pele, or Ronaldo?
Messi,
Yeah, whatever.
not
his name
not
is.
Messier. That's a hockey guy.
I was gonna let it
Sorry, my fault. My fault. Messi.
I'm gonna start Messi, bench Pele, cut Ronaldo.
Yeah, that was gonna be my exact take on that. I've always liked Messi.
I'm gonna
Mhm.
start Pele. I'm gonna bench Messi, cut Ronaldo.
Is that because it's the last time you watched a game was when Pele was still playing?
Probably. All right. Going back to college football because I can't get enough. Start, bench, or cut. Based on this week, solely this week,
Okay.
Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler, Stetson Bennett.
Who's first? Doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
Alex.
I would start Caleb Williams, bench Stetson Bennett, and cut Spencer Rattler.
On this week,
Well, you're right. I know you made it abundantly clear, but yes, you're right. On this week, Caleb Williams starts. I still think I bench Spencer. I can't cut Stetson Bennett.
okay.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm
I-
gonna go
I-
ahead.
He's the quarterback for the number 1 team in the land. It's still undefeated. Like, I get what you're saying this week, but this week he still got his number 1 team in the land to their undefeated mark.
I'm going to start Spencer Rattler, bench Stetson Bennett, and cut Caleb Williams.
Okay,
Really?
why are you cutting Caleb Williams?
Yeah. If anything, I moved him
Yeah.
up because we were talking about this week.
Because I believe that if based on his performance and handling Tennessee, he is the quarterback you want in the trenches,
That is, yeah, based on one good week.
right? I want Stetson Bennett because, like as you all said, he led the undefeated team in some tough times, and he got him through it.
Stetson Bennett's not undefeated.
Yes, he is.
This year.
Or Stetson Bennett. I'm sorry, I was thinking Spencer Rattler.
Okay.
Sorry, I mixed
And
up.
then Caleb Williams, the back and forth with UCLA, I don't need that in my life.
I feel like you're just mad that he might compete with CJ Stroud for like a Heisman or something.
Maybe.
I'm being 100% honest of where I think you're at.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because the reason that Spencer Rattler is like your start seems to be not holding true with your bench and cut.
No, the same thing with my bench. I want him in the trenches. He got him through it.
But so did Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams actually showed out.
Yeah, I'm not. Got him. All right.
At least we're willing to admit we all know why he's doing that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Moving on. This isn't necessarily start, bench, or cut. These are things that you would rather do and put them in some sort of order, or just cut them from your life. Would you rather play in a Super Bowl, play in a national championship, or caddy for a top golfer in the Masters? I didn't say win. I didn't say lose. Would you rather play in the Super Bowl, play in a national championship, or caddy for someone in the Masters?
I don't mind.
Should we starting bench and cutting? How are we doing here?
You can put them in some sort of order.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, Alex.
Number 1, playing a national championship. Number 2, playing a Super Bowl. Number 3, caddy.
Number 1, play in a Super Bowl. Number 2, caddy. Number 3, play for national championship.
Muff, I want to know yours. Why?
Because if I'm playing in the Super Bowl, why do I care if I played in a national championship? I've obviously done what I needed to do in college to get to the pros, and I've
Logic.
done what I've had to do. I don't care that I didn't get a national championship. Guess what? I'm making millions of dollars playing in the pros.
Sound logic. Sound logic.
So that's why I put master second.
Okay. I took this from the approach of Jim today, like Jim years old. Okay.
Jim years old.
I
So
want
playing in any
to-
championship's not going to happen. Jim years old.
Right. I want to caddy for the guy in the Masters.
Really?
Okay. Then I want to play in the Super Bowl. Then the national championship.
I didn't see that coming, Jim.
I took it from the perspective of Jim years old. I just have to carry the guy's bags.
That's true. You're just worried about the physical constraints of playing.
Exactly.
I mean,
And then the Super
you gotta
Bowl,
walk
if
like
I-
9 or 10 miles.
Yeah, but I think I can do that. You know what I mean?
4 days in a row.
I think it can be done.
I know it can be done. It's just not gonna be great.
Not by us.
And I think the Super Bowl, at least I'm getting paid millions of dollars to be there. And a national championship, I'm not getting Jack Diddley.
Well,
No, but I just
in
feel like-
today's Jim years old, you
What
might be.
NIL deal am I going to get?
I just feel like the pageantry and all that of the national championship and like the heart behind it, like that's what I was.
I agree with you. Even if I was your age or if I was a college kid, I would take it from a different approach, right? But I'm Jim years old. There's no NIL deal for a Jim years old guy.
Yeah, there is.
What depends?
There's There's pills.
You're right.
There's testosterone. I mean,
Right, you're
there's
right.
all sorts of things. You see, the Big Hurt doing his testosterone pills all the time.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true. That's start bench cut.
All right, and that brings us to the end of this episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. No quick thoughts today. As always, remember, follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff W/Jim Ampersand Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, rate, comment, review, tickle,
Poke.
retweet, poke,
Dingle.
all the things. Keep this rocket ship going to the moon. And remember, every Thursday, this week it's going to be on Thanksgiving Thursday. You have
Baste
betting
your
episodes.
turkey. Listen to our show. Baste your turkey some more.
Bet on some games, win or lose some money on Thanksgiving, fight with your
Yeah.
families, eat the turkey.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It looks great.
This week, amongst all weeks, make sure you tell a friend, make a friend, be a
friend.